What's up, guys? Kerr here. BDO is currently experiencing its largest surge of new and returning players since COVID. And with that, there's a lot of people that are jumping into the game and just kind of being thrown into the thick of it. And if you know anything about BDO, it basically throws a lot of things at you very fast and it can be very overwhelming with the amount of information that you have to digest. So, because of that, I decided that I wanted to make a series of short videos that kind of break down many of the game systems in a more digestible format so that new and returning players can absorb it better and help ease that burden a little bit. So this first video is more so going to be about resources inside and outside of the game that I find helpful and that I've used for a long time. And so the first one that we're going to talk about is actually inside the game. If you press F1, it brings up this adventurers board, and at the top right, if you click crafting notes, now this crafting notes works as a sort of pseudo in-game Wikipedia kind of thing, where like as a new or returning player, there's going to be a lot of items that you get that you don't know what they're used for, you don't know if they have value, or you don't know if you should keep them, right? And so let's say we have a random item as a new player, mass of pure magic, right? You just type it in right here, and you basically can look down. It'll tell you about the item, it'll tell you how to obtain the item, places that you get it from, and it also tell you what you can use the item for. And then you can also just kind of follow these items in the click through format. It's pretty nice. It's also really good if you plan on getting into life skills. So what's like a random item that you can cook? Balanos meal, right? This has kind of like been a staple over the years. So a lot of it looks very overwhelming. But with this, you can kind of break it down to its individual parts, right? And so I click on that. It tells me, oh, I need those items to make that last item. And you can just kind of break it down into simple steps to make it less overwhelming or to keep you from having to tab out of the game over and over again. And the nice thing is that it keeps these little tabs up here at the top that you can just constantly go back and forth with. And I've been using this tool for many years. I don't use it as much nowadays. But it's a very nifty tool to keep in mind that it exists. And so now we're going to talk about a couple tools that are outside of the game. Obviously, there's many more, right, out there, but these are just some of the first ones that come to mind when I think of useful tools that could help a new or returning player. The first one that I like is Grumpy Green. So Grumpy Green is a website that's full of like picture guides on how to do certain things and certain quest lines in the game. But the nicest thing about Grumpy Green is that it's sort of a TLDR version, right? So a lot of the guides on Grumpy Green, they don't go as completely in depth as some of the other guides on different websites, but it always hits the high points and it just kind of tells you what you need to know fast and so that you can get it done as quick as possible. So this is more tailored towards, in my opinion, the TLDR kind of person that wants the information that they want to know, or they want to see a chart, or they want the information fast, and they don't really care about all the little intricate parts. Next, we have Black Desert Foundry. So Black Desert Foundry is a really good website, and they take Grumpy Green and they kind of go to the next level in the sense that the guides are much more in-depth and they have a whole lot of the little details that you might not see in like a very broad overview picture guide. They also have very like graphically pleasing aesthetics. And another nice thing that I would say about Black Desert Foundry is that they're really good about staying on top of global lab patch notes. So if you don't know, Black Desert has a test server, and that test server is updated basically every week with things that will hit the live server the following week. And it is typically released in Korean, and Black Desert Foundry does a good job of having these patch notes translated within a couple hours, keeping you from having to use Google Translate, which doesn't always like get the exact message or what the original language was implying. And so they do a really good job of like breaking things down and translating in that regard. And also they just have a large amount of guides, and they're pretty fast on getting the guides out, even if like the content hasn't hit us yet. And so I think they're really good to follow along for guides if you're the type of person that likes really in-depth guides that also covers the little things. The next one, Videolytics. I think Videolytics is another really good site. So if you used in the past a website called BDO Day, it basically has similar functionality, and what I like it for is, like, let's say life skilling, right? And for cooking. And earlier we talked about Balanos meals. So we'll just pull up Balanos meals. And basically this website, similar to Video Day, it basically pulls the prices of items off the marketplace using the market API, right? And you can also input custom numbers for the values of certain materials and even do the number of crafts. And this will basically spit out and do the calculations for you how much money you can make by crafting a certain item. Now, I think this is a really nifty tool to use if you're like new to life skilling and trying to get more into it, because it can help you like stay a little more organized and like know ahead of time what kind of profits you're looking at for making different things. It also has a bunch of different functionalities as well, but this is the main thing that I like this website for, is just being able to break down the costs and the profit margins for many different crafting and cooking type things. The next one that I like is somethinglovely.net. Unfortunately, this website no longer gets updated, so it doesn't have the most recent Land of the Morning Light, and so you can use other websites like Videolytics, the previous website we showed. They actually have a map, but I really like the interactiveness of the original website, and it basically allows you to plan out your node empire, which can be pretty overwhelming, and calculate CP costs and just kind of like look at things from a top-down view instead of kind of going by node in game, which can be a little overwhelming. And this is a very useful resource that's been around for years. I mean, I believe that this website became a thing back in like 2018, 2017. It's a very good tool for a new and returning player looking to plan out their node empire and just kind of like getting started on that passive income. And then the final one, which is probably the most popular, if I had to guess, out of like external website resources, is Garmoth.com. So Garmoth.com is a very well-made website that has so many tools. I mean, we're talking ranging from gear planners to grind hour trackers, so you can see like data that different people have aggregated together from grinding on different characters. You can see real-time market value for items across different servers. There's so many different tools on here that you can just go through, and like if you need a tool, it's probably on Garmoth.com because they have virtually everything. I like their gear planner a lot. So with the gear planner, you can come here and create your character, and you can put in different pieces of gear and things like that, right? But the nicest thing is they also have the breakdown for the journals as well. So this works as an easy, really good way for a new or returning player to checklist as they do their journals and get those account-wide stats and see how it's affecting their character, different crystal builds, and things like that. They also have these nifty way on the left hand side of the screen where you can like compare different builds, right? So like break it down between stats and silver. So say we put a Tet helmet there, a pin helmet there. You can break it down and see like what exactly the stats you're gaining from making different upgrades, or just comparing two complete builds, right? You could fill in the entire pieces on this side, right? Say I wanted to know the difference between if I was gonna run Distos, right? Or if I wanted to run Dawn's earrings. And so it's a really nice way to help you plan out your builds in the long run and just kind of see like how different pieces will change your overall vision in the end. They also have the beauty album, which the beauty album is, it's a place where character presets have been pulled from many different servers, and you can download them and actually import them into your BDO folder so that you can then have those looks between different characters. And so overall, again, this is a website that has everything that you could probably want, honestly. And again, global grind, so you can look at averages for people that grind certain spots, what kind of gear they had, how they break down between classes, recommended spots. It's just overall a really good website to use. And that's it. In the spirit of keeping the video short, like I said that I wanted to, I think we still went over 10 minutes a little bit, but that's gonna be it for me. Again, I'm gonna try to come out with a different video every day for the next however long, next couple days, and just try to put together some resources to help people get into the game and put in a bite-sized format. So thank you guys for watching. Just take it easy.